Then we're going to talk about death, the inevitable reality. We are born with a death sentence. Everything is created in the universe, the seeming end, including the universe. From the moment you're born, cells are changing, processes are changing, the outside world is changing, everything is changing. The moment you are conceived in thought, the countdown begins, the countdown to death. Death is not the end, but the beginning of something new. Something has to end for something to begin. The depth of this word, sentence, or paragraph allows for something new to begin. Life is constantly ending or dying to recreate or change form in an infinitely multi-dimensional level of experience and beyond. It's awe-inspiring, vast, fluid, multifaceted, multidimensional, and unknown. Death is frightening as it is moving into an unknown realm. No one ever comes back to let us know what really happens after death. However hard we try, we cannot escape this transition to the unknown. We also never know when it will happen, but the fact is it will happen. Our human body one day will stop living. The breath will go, the pulse will go, and then we are called death and we become rigid and the decay starts. Death is occurring at a relatively fluid rate in our lives at all times on various levels. The sun sets, cells are dying, time passes, day ends, night ends, conversations and feelings change, thoughts end, dreams cease, etc. Our life is constantly dying to be reborn in a myriad of dimensions, whether we like it or accept it or not. We accept and participate in this reality, flowing with it every day, unconsciously or consciously, depending on the impact it has with us. We don't mourn the end of a sunset or the death caused by an animal hunting for its food or the death of animals that are dying for our food. We feel though we feel sad when it's a human being or anything, that is a reflection of ourselves and our lives. It is as if on a deep level we know death will happen to us. We try to fight some aspects of this process, especially if it engenders in us a feeling of discomfort, a sense of helplessness, and react to it with fear and anger, etc. We seemingly accept death on levels that are known to us. We do not grieve the end of a day or a conversation, a lunch meeting, love making session, a film ending in its course of things, and we know that that a new experience is beginning or will begin, we accept and flow with whatever is occurring in our lives. When we perceive death, the death process moving into an unknown realm, we feel threatened as this will end our life experience. When we perceive death as moving into a realm of the unknown, we resist and try to avoid death. We fear the death of a loved one, our own death, loss of security, occupation, etc. Perceptions of death change with experience death in various aspects, maybe to prepare us for a final death and to an end of experience as a human entity. A child fears the dark, but when it grows up as an adolescent, it fears peer opinions. As a teenager, maybe rejection. As it grows older, fears change. Maybe as a young man or a woman, fears losing a career or relationship or so on and so forth. We are constantly battling the end of something that is important to us or we think it is important to us. The fear of death is relatively proportional to the degree of unknown. We accept death or try to avoid death in relation to a perception of the unknown. The greatest fear is when death of this experience as a human entity will move into an unknown realm. Nobody ever comes back and lets us know what happens after we die, and we are seemingly alone and unsupported in this final experience of death as a human entity. So we try to keep these connections going. We try to fight dying, try to find ways to live, but it is as if we are afraid to be alone and move into this realm of the unknown alone. So loneliness is the pain of being alone. Aloneness is the glory of being alone. We were born alone, we will die alone. And once we understand the process of death and that's occurring, and then we are nothing but a cosmic entity which is part of the infinite, flowing along, not dying but being transformed to another state, we stop fearing death and look at everything as an opportunity, as an adventure. Or you lose your job, it's like, what's the next adventure? If you lose your um, relationship, you're like, okay, it had to happen. It had to happen in its own way. There is nobody to blame, and then we move along to the next adventure with this sense of joy and anticipation of looking forward to this adventure. So embrace death, because when we are ready to die, we start living. That's right.